welcome back. Had a couple of funny stories here on as I became a detective here, the last 2 or 3. This is kind of a serious one a little bit. On RealCopStoriesVideos.com, I've got several like these where sad moments. One officer had cancer, passed away after a fight. Another officer died. You know, look those up. They're pretty sad. This is one of those. Work in narcotics and worked a squad. And we worked in an office that had 3 squads, 3 8-man squads. You had a squad table with a supervisor, another squad table, another squad table. So you get to know each other. You help each other out. You need some backup and you're going to do a surveillance, you're going to do an arrest or whatever. So everybody helps everybody. Well, the boss on the far table, he every year he went hunting with our captain and his buddy. 3 of them went elk hunting, deer hunting in Montana. And they had a 4x. And this is a story I was told, and we heard this. I talked to one of the guys that responded to the call. So this is not one that I saw. Some of these stories now are coming out where I know most of it. I know all of it. I talked to the guys involved. I didn't do it myself. And of course, most of them will be ones I did myself. Anyway, this is what happened. 3 of them went up to go elk hunting. And I call this guy, he's a detective supervisor. They had a 4x. They load up, they drive the 4x as far as they can go in the snow. It's in the wintertime, elk season. They get out and they have a sled. They keep all their stuff on the sled and they walk like 3 or 4 miles, set up a tent, basically a camp. And then from there they walk out and hunt the deer. Well, unfortunately, they didn't know this until they found out later that this detective supervisor had a heart condition. And they're out there hiking at the far part of their hunting, all the stuff's back at their camp now. They're walking and he has a massive heart attack, okay? Massive. I mean, he just collapsed. And what are you going to do out there in the middle of nowhere? No medical, you can't call anybody and these are before cell phones. You're stuck with the guy, okay? So they try to do stuff to him. You know, obviously, they have the captain and one of his buddies. They all know CPR and they're giving him whatever. And they told me that he was gone. They as soon as they tried to do something, there was no response. I mean, just nothing. There was no breathing. They said they gave him CPR as long as they could, maybe 10, 15 minutes. Never caught on. They're hitting the heart. I'm sure when they were doing this, they were pumping the heart out because he blew an aorta. Okay, so it's pretty much gone. Okay, and they don't know this. So they carry him back to the campground. They close camp, put him on the sled with all their stuff, and they drag him back to the 4x. You can imagine it's cold out there, so he's pretty much frozen. You know, it's frozen stiff. Put him in the back of they had to get a Jeep or something, really matter. Open up the back of the 4x, put him in there along with their supplies. Drove into some town. I'm not sure if it was Billings or Missoula, one of the bigger towns in Montana. And it was Bozeman. Bozeman. Yeah. And so they went in. That's right. It was that one. And of course they're officers, and it's what you do if you're not an officer is you report it to the sheriff. Go in there, and the sheriff ran this particular part of the state, and they told him what happened. So okay, so obviously he calls the coroner. You know, it's like one sheriff, one coroner. You know, it's not like a city. We have multiple guys. They come out, take the body in, and the sheriff tells them, well, first we got to thaw him, and then got to have an autopsy. And not that you guys are guilty or anything, but we have to know what happened so you can't leave town. Okay, fine. So they got a room, and I think the county might have put him up. I think he said the county put him up, but they didn't have to because, you know, but anyway, they called their families, and they called his brother and said, I don't know what you want to do, but we're not going to call his wife. This is a family thing, so this is what happened, and he's dead. Okay, so that's a good thing to do. You want to call the wife and say, are you the widow Jones? Okay, that's not a good thing to do. Okay, so they did that, took care of that. Of course, the wife was devastated, obviously, and so they stayed there for like 3 or 4 days, one day to thaw him out, a couple days to thaw him out, and then they did the autopsy. Turned out that's what they found out, and that was it. They made arrangements to have the brother came up and made arrangements to get him flown home, and then the body was home, and then he was buried. Okay, by that time I had about 16 years on, I guess, and I've gone to a lot of funerals, police funerals, very sad, you know, with the flyovers and the horses and the bagpipes and all that. And you stand there and very solemn. I spoke it later on. There'll be another story later on. My supervisor passed away, and it'll come later with that story. It's sad. This was even sadder because he was a Vietnam vet like I was. They had Marines there, of course, and the department was there. Everybody was there. And they had echoing taps, and that really hurt me. They had, it was a Rolling Hills graveyard, and they had one of the taps guys was over the hill, and one taps guy was by the gravesite, and he would play taps, and he would echo it. Okay, that was tough. I'm choking up now. It was a tough one, And a lot of Marine guys, like myself, a lot of Marine vets and combat guys just looked away because it was really heart-wrenching. You know, the wife's all in the coffin. I mean, it's really sad, but it's the way it goes, man. You never know when your number's up, and he died on, I guess they say he died loving what he was doing, obviously. He was with his friends, and they're hunting, and that's what he did forever. And it was sad. It was sad, but that goes on. That's the way it goes. So, interesting story. Hope you enjoyed it in the sense of the context. Kind of sad. But anyway, see you next time. Bye-bye.